Off the bat, I just want to say this. IRL streaming has kind of taken over, where it feels like IRL streaming is like the next big thing, on the internet with streaming content. It's overshadowing a lot of other content, like just immediately, top streamers are all IRL streamers. But then it sparks some toxic behavior where now people are in public trying to do the wildest thing on camera. We kind of seen that with the prank scene on YouTube, how pranks, 15 years ago were just like funny, like, somebody runs in with a Jason mask or something and you're all scared, whatever, that's a prank. But now they're like doing pranks where they're almost endangering themselves and the public at times. I saw a prank, quote unquote, where a dude pulls a gun on someone. It's a fake gun, but it's like, oh, it's not a prank. You know what I mean? And that guy got arrested. He got arrested for doing that. And so, there's that. Then there's also people who are pretty big on Twitch, pretty big on some of these streaming platforms like Kick, and they essentially have used their platform to torment people in other countries, specifically Japan. For whatever reason, over the last year, I've seen multiple streamers from multiple different areas and all live streamers, like all IRL live streamers, going to Japan and harassing the people that live there. So, I mean, hey, I don't really understand this craze, but I understand IRL streaming. I don't have an issue with that, but it's the harassment of the public that I have an issue with. It's the almost like the torment of the public, not even necessarily just like you're harassing them. It's like, are you bothering people, and putting them on camera? I saw a prank where this guy was walking by couples and basically like sexually harassing the women. Like verbally though, like saying like, oh, why don't you leave this guy? And then the guy gets mad. Oh, it's a prank. It's a prank. I don't really see how that's, I see how it could be funny, the shock value. You're like, whoa, but I don't really think that's gonna last as long as other forms of content, maybe some of these viral clips will stay viral for years to come. We've seen that a lot. But it just seems like a slippery slope, streaming and specifically trying to antagonize the public. I don't know. I wouldn't do that. Just me personally, I wouldn't do it, But yeah, so this is these foreigners are ruining Japan. And this is a little bit about some of the people that have been in controversy in the country of Japan more recent times. Let's see. I already know one of these people because I've seen video after video after video about him, and I'll let you know which one he is.
A bullet train without paying, breaking into an active construction site, begging locals for money, stealing food from a Kyoto hotel, or breaking into a truck. What do you want to do when you come to Japan? There seems to be a worrying trend now where foreign influencers are treating Japan like it's a cross between Disneyland and The Purge, a theme park where rules don't matter and you can pretty much get away with anything. In a world where all that matters now is click-through rates on YouTube videos or audience retention on a Kick stream, desperate creators are going to desperate lengths to get the attention they sorely crave. And unfortunately, it seems what better place to exploit people's kind-hearted nature and goodwill.
It just showed him.
Unfortunately, it seems what better place.
So I don't know if you can see, but this guy, his name is, I think, Johnny Somalia or Somali or something like that. Johnny Somali. And he's a live streamer, IRL live streamer, who decided to go to Japan, antagonize most of the people there, and bring up very racist, very insensitive topics in front of the locals and think that was funny for content. Like, ooh, ha ha ha, you guys got bombed, blah blah blah. Like, that's crazy. The fact that you would ever do that is crazy. You're gonna go to their country and disrespect them like that? That's so wrong. When I saw the clips of this, I was hot. Like, I had no sympathy. If they said they threw him in jail for 100 years, I wouldn't even really care. I would say, okay, that's not a fair punishment. But I wouldn't say, oh, we got to rally to get him out. Man, come on.
Is to exploit people's kind-hearted nature and goodwill for content than here in Japan. Nuisance foreign influencers have been in the public news quite a bit in Japan over the last few months. And with the release of a video just yesterday by YouTuber Phidias getting thrown off a Shinkansen for not paying, amongst other things, the topic looks set to make a very unwelcome comeback this week. So in this video, we'll take a look at who these dickheads are and what's been going on, as well as exploring how this has been playing out in Japan amongst both the public and the Japanese government, because it certainly hasn't gone unnoticed. And look, this isn't just a foreigner YouTube problem. Japan has its own fair share of domestic nuisance YouTubers, and it's taken some pretty bizarre measures to counter them as well, as we'll see. But both as a foreigner living in Japan and as a YouTuber, naturally, I feel like this is something I need to talk about. Do I want to talk about it? No, I don't. As you know, I like talking about happy things. In fact, to produce this video, I had to completely scrap the fun pre-planned content that I had in store. But my policy on YouTubers and streamers doing shitty things has always been to ignore them, for fear of bringing them any more attention or notoriety. And I only do so today because in the case of the first bellend that we'll talk about, Johnny Somali, a Kick streamer, he's already reached a high level of notoriety after his recent arrest.
There he is.
And his story is important as it gives context to why people are so fed up that this has happened again. And by talking about the second person, who is a YouTuber, hopefully YouTube will take more aggressive action against creators that make shitty content like this. Also, if you're having a good day where you've got some sort of faith in humanity, you might want to stop watching right now, as I've discovered learning about these fucking idiots really doesn't do you any favours. Back in September, Kick streamer Johnny Somali was arrested after repeatedly causing mayhem around.
Wait, he was actually arrested, and his name is Johnny Somali. So I didn't understand that he actually got in trouble. I actually just saw the clips, and it was kind of shown out of context where they just showed you the clips, and it was almost posed as, oh, this guy did all this stuff in Japan, and that was it, you know.
Whether it was standing on a train with a loudspeaker harassing train passengers, wandering onto a construction site and being thrown off by mortified workers, or of course breaking into a truck for lunch. For 6 months, frustratingly, he pretty much got away with it all. Had Johnny Somali been in the UK, he would have discovered the definition of human punch bag very fucking fast. But unfortunately in Japan, people go about their lives keen to avoid conflict or disputes, especially given how rare it all is. And when people see outlandish, disrespectful behaviour, they're far less likely to confront it than they would in North America or Europe. And with the authorities seemingly inactive or oblivious to this toxic behaviour for the longest time, it got to the point where vigilante stream snipers were actively seeking him out, leading him to get knocked out by a foreign tourist in what might be his second greatest stream. And during this
Wait, what? He ended up getting hit by a foreign... Wait, let me see this. I didn't see none of this stuff where people was actually like fighting back, and I just kept seeing clip after clip of this guy, Johnny Somali, just harassing the fuck out of people, dude. Like, yeah, he walked up to somebody and literally asked him, like, how do you feel? It was something along the lines of, how do you feel that America bombed you guys or something? Like, what? Bro, that's so crazy for you to ask them that. Like, what? And then like he's like laughing about it. Like, dude, that's not funny at all, honestly. Like, that's it was just wrong of him to say that. And that was all I saw. I didn't see all this other stuff.
Authorities seemingly inactive or oblivious to this toxic behaviour for the longest time, it got to the point where vigilante stream snipers were actively seeking him out, leading him to get knocked out by a foreign tourist in what might be his second greatest stream. And during this time I purposely avoided the topic because I just didn't want to bring attention to someone like this, you know. There's no such thing, they say, as bad publicity. Fortunately, turns out there is. Eventually, Japanese media caught on to Johnny Somali, and in what was undeniably his greatest stream. He captured his own demise in real time as the police arrested him and tossed him into a cell where he's been for almost 2 months now. If formally charged with trespass.
Wait, he's actually in jail now and has been in jail for 2 months? Wow. I'll tell you right now, I didn't see any of the updates that he actually was caught on live stream and thrown in jail, and I'm starting to feel a little bit better about the situation. I thought he just got off scot-free and was back in America by now, or wherever he's from. I think he's actually from, they said he was from the UK, or was he just saying if he went to the UK he would have got beat up? I don't know.
He could spend up to 3 years in jail, but that's pretty unlikely, and we can only hope he does get to stream his inevitable deportation sometime in the near future. But the damage had already been done, with one of Japan's most powerful politicians speaking out publicly about nuisance streamers, casting a bit of a shadow over regular streamers and YouTubers operating in Japan. And that takes us to now. This week in the relay race of dickhead influencers in Japan, the baton of twattery went from Johnny Somali to Cypriot YouTuber Phidias when he released a video called I Travelled Across Japan for Free. A more accurate title would have been I Travelled Across Japan Without Fucking Paying, as Phidias rode across the country on a Shinkansen without buying a ticket and then camping out in a public toilet while battling an unamused train conductor who later threw him off the train, as well as harassing locals for money along the way to pay for his bus fare. Although clearly it wasn't enough because he didn't pay the bus fare, and so the bus company took him to the police station to charge him. And if that wasn't enough, as an extra bonus, he also walked into a Kyoto hotel, pretended he was staying to the staff, and stole food from the breakfast buffet. What a man of class. A waste of time for everyone involved, all in the name of the world's shittest YouTube video. I don't know about you, but I don't actually want Phineas to...
I mean, okay, here's the thing. I think he's a dick for making the bus driver deal with him, but for lying to the hotel people and taking some food from the buffet that they would have just thrown in the trash anyways when no one would have ate it, I don't really find that as like the worst thing ever. Cause it's like, if it's a buffet like that, if one person comes, they're still gonna make all this food. You know what I mean? Like, they're still gonna make a ton of food and it'll probably just end up going to waste anyways. So I wouldn't even really care that he did that, but the whole bus thing, that was it. That was the thing that I feel like, yeah, you're just causing issues for no reason. Like, what are you doing?
Get arrested for this. I want him to be free so he can get to work on his sequel as soon as possible. I travel Pyongyang for free. Boy, would I pay good money to see that in action. Now, right off the bat, Phineas doesn't have the best reputation. In fact, if desperation had a physical manifestation, it would be him. After all, the guy once camped outside of Twitter's headquarters for 60 days just to get a hug with Elon Musk himself. In a scene so hideously awkward, you'll want to go back in time and kill the internet from ever happening. Perhaps this shouldn't be a complete surprise, given this is the same guy who faced a backlash last year for his questionable thumbnail choices. But in a matter of hours, the video had been picked up by netizens online and shared across Japan. In response to the outrage, Phineas did what any good YouTuber would do. He wrote a shit apology. Hello, beautiful people. I apologise to the Japanese people if we made them feel bad. That was not our goal. From now on, I am going to make more research to the cultures we go to and try to prevent this from happening again. I love you all.
That was so, bro, that was just so not genuine. And yeah, it only got 5 likes, but like, bro, this was the worst apology ever. It's almost like as if like he gave the phone to like his little cousin who was in like high school. He's like a freshman in high school and was like, hey, can you write an apology for my channel? Because bro, this was just not sincere. This came off very, very sloppy. Like, you couldn't even throw it in Word and have Word tell you, hey, capitalize this, put a period here, you know, this is spelled wrong. Like, this just looks so just, I don't know what this guy was thinking, honestly. He must have hit the microphone and just like was rambling, because what the hell is this, bro? This is awful.
And try to prevent this from happening again. I love you all. 5 likes from 5 fucking idiots. I'm gonna make more research to the cultures. You know what? Maybe I'll swing by Malaysia. Maybe I'll steal a truck, because maybe that's okay there. Maybe theft is okay. I don't know. I haven't researched the culture. Or maybe I'll swing by Vietnam and hijack a bus. I don't know. I haven't researched the culture. Maybe the concept of crime is absent in Asian countries. But clearly Phineas didn't research the culture of India because he did the exact same fucking thing there, riding a train without paying. But what lies in store for Phineas? Well, if history tells us anything, it's that he should soon begin his narrative arc to becoming an amateur boxer. And who knows what kind of exciting content that we can expect next. Perhaps I piggybacked across Japan on 100 unwilling strangers. Or perhaps I tried robbing a Japanese 7-Eleven in a day. But there's a tipping point in Japan when something is featured on TV. That's when the outrage is sort of crystallised. And it's impressive how well everyone's forgotten Logan Paul's saga when he came to Japan for the ultimate dickhead speedrun, causing chaos on the streets, smashing Game Boys and mocking the dead, with the whole episode making national news in Japan. To the point that I ended up on Japan's biggest morning news show in the bizarre position of having to defend all foreign YouTubers ever in the world, which was basically me just sitting on a chair.
I knew this guy from somewhere. I remember this video when he had to respond to the dude, and the guy was basically asking him like, hey, like, does this accurately represent all foreign YouTubers that come to this country? Are you guys coming here to just like, you know, run amok? Do you guys actually care about our culture? And so he had to explain like, no, I came here to work, I love your culture, you know, this and that. It's like, man, you're making all these other people look bad, just going there, running up amok, and then you just leave. You don't even care, you just leave. Bro, that's making the YouTubers really look bad, you know?
Looking bewildered, going, I'm very angry indeed. It's a good thing I didn't say, but don't worry, it won't happen again. Especially with a clip of even more streamers in Japan doing the rounds dressed as Mario, harassing women in the street.
What the fuck am I?
Now, there is some good news. Just as I was finishing up this video, I did see that the offending video had disappeared, meaning either YouTube took action or he took it down himself. But the damage has already been done. It's already been shared across social media in Japan. People are already kind of pissed off. Japanese rail companies are investigating what happened. And just today, a friend shared with me a photo of his local bar that's just put up a sign banning people from filming, streaming.
Wow. See, this is what I'm talking about. Then now people don't have the privilege to video live stream. And mind you, this is in another country. You can pull that bullshit, oh, you're in a public square, you go into a public square means that you consent to being filmed. You can say that in America, but this is Japan. This is not America. They have completely different laws. So it's like, bro, you're just literally fucking over the people that are there. And then you just come back here like nothing happened. Like, bro, that's some bullshit, man. That sucks.
Doing anything inside there, and who can really blame them? Probably a look of things to come. You know, looking at the bigger picture, it's unfortunate. In 10 years living here, 300 videos on the road, I've very rarely faced any difficulties filming in public. The key is to be respectful, don't be noisy, be mindful of the people around you. And much of my success is down to the fact Japan is so tolerant and so generous when it comes to people filming out and about in public. There's nowhere better to do it. And I worry if this keeps happening, then the day will arrive where every time I pull out a camera to film, or a foreign tourist is filming something, just making a video, you know, folks will rush over to sort of say, oh, stop filming, don't film here, please, damn it, don't film, because they're so concerned that something bad is going to happen. And it's a sad turn of events to be confronting, especially as it's the 1-year anniversary of Japan reopening. You know, tourist numbers are almost back to where they were since 2019. It'd be a terrible shame if that is overshadowed by foreign influencers running amok, being disrespectful, and taking advantage of Japan and its people. And I think the only flip side I can find is by raising awareness of that. I kind of want to encourage you guys, if you're ever out there watching something on YouTube or Twitch or Kick, where douchebag influencers are traveling around Japan doing these sort of things, hold them to account, report them, do what you can. That's the only way they can be stopped when they're deprived of the platforms that they use to output the shitty, awful content. Now, as I said, Japan isn't without its own domestic YouTuber problems. In fact, the country has a word for nuisance YouTubers, meiwakuke. During the pandemic, a YouTuber called Hezumaru was detained for 2 days after a string of questionable activities, including stealing sashimi from a supermarket and laying down a mattress in the middle of Shibuya Crossing. That was never going to end well, let's face it. Then this year, somewhat bizarrely, in the run-up to hosting the G7 summit, the Japan Self-Defense Force ran a series of exercises in anticipation of an attack. In this case, in the event that a YouTuber should try to break into a base belonging to the Japan Self-Defense Force, which they reacted to by swarming the individual and searching their car. And let's face it, it's the one Logan Paul video that we all want to see. That would be one hell of an episode.
So they're like getting prepared for YouTubers to come there and do some bullshit. They're like literally putting resources into, hey, YouTubers keep coming here and acting up, so we need like a little task force or at least like a plan of what we're gonna do. Like, that's crazy, bro. That's so crazy to think of.
As for Phidias, let's hope his next video is out soon. Staying in Japan for free, with free meals. Fingers fucking crossed.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing really to say about that other than, like, bro, behave in public. And when you're leaving one country to go to another, how is it that you're just like, oh, I don't know the culture, I don't know the rules, I don't know this, I don't know that? Like, why the fuck are you going there then if you don't know anything about it? You didn't even look up like a couple videos or anything, nothing. You don't know nothing about it. You just went there alone. Like, that's not a good excuse of why you're acting like an asshole in another country, you know? And it doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you're from, that's just not okay, you know, point blank. But hey, that was foreigners ruining Japan.